You know, talking about she's having another nightmare, and she calls Burke, and she gives that very good line that you see in the trailers, I guess. Tell me something, Burke. If we go back now, it's pretty much to destroy them, right? None of them gets bring back. None of them gets whatever. Something like that. I don't remember the exact line. But she pretty much tells Burke, don't bring nothing back if I'm going with you. And he goes, right. So she's in. She says to the cat, you're staying. And then next thing you know, now we're introduced to the Marines. First off, we're with the scene that shows the hyper cryogenic things opening, and then we see all the Marines. We're introduced right away to Hudson, Bill Paxton. Pretty much being I guess what you call a loudmouth or a clown in a way. You know, he gets out of the bed, he's talking about, this floor is cold. And then I guess the drill sergeant, or the main guy who's in charge, Crow, or whatever his name is, I think. Apone. He tells the Apone, what do you want me to get? He Sexton tells him, what do you want me to get? You want me to get you slippers for you? Well, I would like that, sir. I would like that. Look at my eye. Get anything goes out, you know.
The thing is, with this movie, the great thing is the cast. I mean, you know, we get to the Marine ship, and, you know, like Efree said, Sierra 12 said, you know, you have Al Matthews, who played Apone, you know, their sort of general, it's more of their Sergeant Apone, with the cigar, saying, look into my eye. Al Matthews, he was a real-life soldier. Like, he was actually in Vietnam, and, you know, he actually served. So he actually taught the actors how to hold the weapon, how to march, follow orders, stuff like that. And it really worked well. It was sad that he wasn't in the film too much. But, I mean, the rest of the cast is just excellent cast and acting. You got Hudson, you know, Bill Paxton. So many memorable scenes with that guy. You know, I mean, how many lines can you think of Hudson? Let's see. There's the scene where he's talking to Jenette Goldstein, who plays Vasquez, another strong female, which is rare. There's a lot of strong females in this film, too. But he asks Jenette Goldstein, have you ever been mistaken for a man? Jenette Goldstein goes, no. Have you? She's doing like these pull-ups that are like, look fucking tough to do, too.
And then we have that cool scene where we're introduced to Vasquez, Jenette Goldstein, and we have another scene also with Hicks, played by Michael Biehn. He just followed from doing Terminator with James Cameron. So did Bill Paxton. Bill Paxton had a small part in the movie, so I guess Cameron used him for this movie. You know, so it's but it's a very interesting movie, very cool scene. Sorry I got caught up there. And then basically what happens is they're at lunch or whatever, eating in the cafeteria, and then we're introduced to Ripley's eating with the grunts, and with Carl Burke, and then we're introduced to this other character named Bishop, played by Lance Henriksen, and he sits right next to Ripley. Before he goes to do that, pretty much Hudson fucks with Bishop and tells him, do that thing with the knife or whatever. So, you know, the hand thing with the knife, that shit. So he does it, but instead they kind of play a trick on Hudson. They grab Hudson by the neck and they put his hand there, and then he does that thing with the knife and everything like that. And it's a real funny scene. I love this shit. The look on Bill Paxton's face is classic. Going that shit like, ah! It ain't funny, man. It ain't funny.
We all remember Hudson. You know, it's game over, man. Game over. What the fuck we gonna do now? What are we gonna do? Or, perhaps you've been keeping up with current events, but we just got asses kicked, pal. Or the scene where, before they drop ship, and, you know, it's kind of like the Vietnam thing. It's kind of what they're going with the Vietnam. James Cameron was. He's like, they're the Americans, they're cocky, they have all these weapons.
And shit, and then he goes and he sits next to Ripley, and before you know it, I guess the knife did nick his thumb, because you see some white stuff coming out of it, and Ripley gets a little freaked out, because that's what happened to her in the first movie with Ash. It's understandable. And they explain to Bishop. Bishop goes, oh, that was an old model, that won't happen with me. She's a little freaked out. She goes, stay away from me. So a little bit of prejudice right there between her and Bishop in a way. It's understandable, though, because of what happened. So then pretty much what happens is She gives them she talks to the Marines like in a briefing about what happened to her. Then they go, alright, no problem. And of course, Vasquez goes, I only need to know one thing, where they are. And he gives a little thing like that. And then they get on the ship, they get all their guns ready, which is a cool scene where they got the pulse rifle and that shit that they go around like that. And
kind of like the Vietnam thing, you know? Where they're cocky and they got all the high-tech weapons and machines, but yet this more lower enemy basically wipes them out like that very quickly because they know their environment and they know they have nothing to lose. They're not cocky. They just have one goal, single-minded, that type of thing. And they're just ferocious. So it has this sort of Vietnam thing going, which I thought was cool too. And it just, hits with Michael Biehn. Very, I guess he wasn't the actor they first hired for the role, but that person, I don't know, dropped out, something like that. But then they hired Michael Biehn. He did a great job as Hicks. He was strong, and didn't say much, but he had a good presence, and he was just solid as a rock. Like I said, Jenette Goldstein was a strong female. Lance Henriksen as Bishop. Of course, Sierra 12 said with the knife thing. Everybody remembers that.
And they got that, we call it the PVC, that fucking big car to get into the thing. It's just badass. And then they get in there. And express elevator to hell. Then they get dropped with the ship going to the planet. And then there's a scene in the special edition which is cool, where you have Hudson pretty much talking shit while the ship is being dropped and arriving to the planet to Ripley. Don't worry, me and my Marines will protect you. We got this, we got that, we got sticks, and he does it way better than I do, obviously. Unless Matt knows the dialogue by heart. I don't know, maybe Matt wants to give it a try. He probably knows it by heart.
Pulse rifles, we got RPGs, we got nukes, knives, sharp sticks.
On the planet, the atmosphere of LV-426 is perfect. It's rainy, it's dark. They get into the station. It looks like some shit happened. They see holes on the floor, like the acid went through their aliens. And they're looking around everywhere, and then before you know it, then they go to another part of the compound where they have a kind of a homing device that the colonists had. And then you see, further before that, we get to see Newt, that she's been hiding in the air ducts and everything like that from the aliens and facehuggers or whatever. Ripley comes to her, they chase her and they calm her down. She's scared. She wants to be pretty much left alone. She don't want to be with anyone else because she survived by herself and stuff like that. But of course she ends up staying with them.
And basically, we all know the plot. They go in, they get their asses kicked. Before that they see one poor woman get a chest burster. Before that, Ripley finds Newt, played by Carrie Henn, who is a child that is not annoying. You feel sorry for her. She screams and cries, but you feel sorry for her because she's been through hell, and Carrie Henn did a great job. It wasn't an annoying kid. And you have this hardcore action scene where the Marines are getting wiped out one by one, and they have the backs against the wall. Ripley does what she has to, and there's a great drum score by James Horner. I can't even do it justice. I'm not even going to try. But it's just... she kills the first alien, runs the motherfucker over as they try to grab her. And now that they're shit out of luck. Now they're sort of on the rebound, have to figure out what to do, how to get off the planet. When can they expect a rescue? And that's another great scene with Hudson where, Hicks says 17 days. That's like, 17 days, we're going to last 17 hours. And Ripley goes, this girl lasted more than 17 days with no weapons, no training. Of course, Hudson goes, why would you just put her in charge?
And they make a move toward this place where you see pretty much it's all nestified in a way, with the aliens pretty much put all their shit all over the place there. It's real cool the way they did it, by the way. Then you have some of the colonists stuck on the wall and everything. It's a real cool scene. It builds up to a good payoff. And that's pretty much one scene where the chest buster comes out of one of them that's hanging on the wall, and they burn the lady and they kill the chest buster. Then the aliens come out and all fucking hell breaks loose, pretty much. And you got that score by James Horner, which is a badass score. You know, it's too bad we can't put the score up anywhere because 20th Century Fox will get mad if you post it up or any clips. But it's a badass score, and then you get the whole thing with the camera going through there, and you see it on the monitor. That's when you can tell hell's breaking loose. That's the first person thing you see, but it's little through the monitors though. Even the sergeant in charge, Gorman's a little nervous. Oh, talk to me, all scared and shit. Then Ripley's like, fuck this, I ain't having this. She gets the fucking car, starts the car up, and goes to rescue the Marines. And a cool scene with the music's going at it and shit, and Vasco is screaming, let's rock! It's a fucking crazy scene, man. Oh, man.
Just memorable quotes and characters. I mean, Hicks, again, is strong. Michael Biehn did a great job. Even the weaponry and hardware is memorable. Like, everybody remembers the pulse rifles and the way the weapons sounded. The way those pulse rifles sounded when they were fired. I can't do a great job of it, but you remember what a pulse rifle sounds like.